Ladies and gentlemen, we have been working all day, and now it's after work. I'm Joe. Welcome back to That Nintendo Show, where every week we bring to you all the Nintendo news in a week in review format. You can find me here over on twitch.tv/JoAfterWork live, normally around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time every Friday night. And you can always find the breakout video, well, the full version of this video over on youtube.com/JoAfterWork. The next day is what I'm going to try to aim for. I'm going to try to edit this as soon as I can, as soon as I stop streaming tonight, because we do more than just this live show here on Twitch. We also play some games afterwards. Normally we'll do Nintendo Spotlight, but we actually got to do it the night before on the day these games came out, which was awesome. So those videos are starting to go up over on the YouTube channel. If you miss anything over here on Twitch, the full streams do save, but I do also segment them out over as separate episodes on the YouTube channel, so I highly suggest you check those out if you want to just know about one particular game in general. And let's get on with the show, guys. Ha ha ha, what's going on? Some news, some updates. Last week I told you guys that I was working on trying to get the show in an audio format over on SoundCloud and iTunes. That's all set up. iTunes' process has gone. When I tried to do the Afterwork show and Break Time podcast 2 years ago, it took like a week and a half for everything to go through. The process just like speeded up over by just having everything ready overnight. I was able to get things done in less than a day, actually. So you can find an audio version of this show over on iTunes. Leave a review if you do want to subscribe to that as well, or even if you go over to SoundCloud as well, it's going to be there. And from here on out, I'm going to try to get your guys' input on like what podcast services you guys listen to, and I'll try my best to get it out there. I can't guarantee 100% that I'll be able to do it, but I will definitely try my best. And those are some housekeeping notes from last week. And while we're on the subject of last week, let's go down the pipeline, if I can get this right. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I did it twice last week because I didn't have my headphones ready, which I should always have that prepared, but hey. Let's get into this. First thing up, like I said, we were talking about last week, and I kind of went off on a rant because there's some poor communication going on with this damn amiibo crisis that's happening with these Metroid Samus Returns amiibos, the combo pack that's $29.99, and is probably going to be really difficult to find if it's not already hard to find. And there was confusion, I guess, because this was not communicated clearly at all, that there's a hard mode. We all were under the conclusion, the assumption, I guess you can say, even though it didn't really feel like an assumption, it seemed concrete that the Metroid amiibo was going to unlock a fusion mode, which was a harder difficulty locked behind an amiibo, and there was a lot of, flub about it. I said my piece. If you want to hear it, you can go back and hear that one. But now Nintendo this week has gone and said, no, there is a hard mode in the game after you beat the game initially. There will be a hard mode that gets unlocked in the game. Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS. It's coming out September 15th. But fusion mode is a even harder difficulty that is locked behind the Metroid amiibo. So therein lies this confusion that shouldn't have been a confusing situation to begin with. It really, I don't understand sometimes. This is where my love-hate relationship with Nintendo starts, comes out, I guess, because they do really good with communicating on some things, and then there's just other things that they don't do well communicating, and this is one of those situations. So I'm reading this off Nin Mobile News. Jeez, wow, why can't I say that? So, in essence, when it comes down to it, there's still a difficulty being locked behind the Metroid Fusion that I can't I don't understand why, and it's not going to be available as a DLC purchase later on its own. Nintendo has gone already to say that. So the only way that you're going to be able to get Fusion mode, where you play as Samus in the Fusion suit from Metroid Fusion, is by buying this 2-pack amiibo, because you can't buy them individually. They're actually sold in the pack together, so you got to spend $30 to get this difficulty unlocked, which all right. I mean, yeah, you get a cool amiibo out of it, but I mean, I'm in it for the amiibos. You guys already know I've pre-ordered this stuff, but I'm speaking for everybody that might not be able to get this amiibo or doesn't want to pay to have an additional unlocked mode. It's silly, to be honest. It really is silly, and I hope that changes down the road. But like I always say in all these things that I do, this is a conversational show more than just a news show. So I want to jump into the chat. I want to hear what you guys have to say, and then we'll jump on to the rest of this show. Cromer, what's going on? And the first thing I see from Cromer, that's stupid. Yes, I agree. It's rather silly for them to do, but I mean, this isn't the first time. We saw it with also the Breath of I was talking about this last week. The season pass also another thing that I have a problem with, that they locked a difficulty mode behind a season pass. Again, paywall, I guess, if you want to be technical about it. But I'm in that season mode for the fall DLC. That Battle of the Champions is what I've been waiting for. That's what I want. It's like Master Mode in Breath of the Wild. Yes, exactly, Cromer. They take a step forward, and then they take a step back. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Oh, man. But there are a lot of things that they're doing right, and we'll get into that momentarily. says, I feel like amiibos are to unlock certain in-game things. They really shouldn't be something that you cannot get normally in-game, at least regarding item benefits. See, that right there. Like, I think it's a great idea that you can use the Samus amiibo to refill missiles, and then the Smash Samus amiibo to restock something else, I believe. I think it might be, one of them might be energy and the other one's missiles or something. I can't remember off the top of my head, but basically that's a pretty cool perk to have. I would love for the idea of unlocking skins of some sort to be able to be a thing in more amiibos. That would be awesome. Or even, you know, I gotta say, even with the Fire Emblem Echoes amiibos, where's my Almond Celica? Although they did unlock special like specific dungeons for each character, that's not really too big of a deal. Like, it's one map that's you're gonna grind it out a little bit on each amiibo for a little while, and then you'll be really overpowered at that point. So that's something that's not really gonna give you that much of an edge in the rest of the story or anything like that. So like something like that, okay, I can understand, but I think the cosmetic stuff is the better way to go about that. I completely agree with you, like amiibo functionality in Breath of the Wild was fine, where you got little perks. You got some meats, you got different clothing that you can then upgrade in the game, which was cool. Amiibo in Breath of the Wild is cool. You can get some items, get ahead, and some exclusive items. I 100% agree with you guys there. Someone give Nintendo a bad review on Yelp, please. Deadeye, what's up? And oh my god. I'm here 3.1 seconds and Joe already lost it. It's a soft, touchy subject for me. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. I can't help myself. My goodness. I even turned off the AC. I'm drinking water tonight. Like, come on. I hope you can hear that gulp. I'm going to do that one more time. What the hell is wrong with me? I almost choked on water on stream. Alright, so let's move on. That's catching up on last week. We got some fun stuff for you guys tonight that you guys may have already read throughout the week, but we're gonna, this is what the show is for. We wait for all the news to come out, and then we talk about the important stuff, or at least the stuff I feel is pertinent to this show. Oh, that's the wrong W. Here we go. Boop. And I don't have it. All right, we're gonna talk about this first because I didn't pull it up. Wah 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 wah. Whoa! Fail, Joe. Fail. Oh man! And as soon as I get my dashboard for the chat back up, that'd be great too. Yes, there we go. We're good. We're back. We're back. Yay! So we're gonna skip one, and then we'll jump back. But Nintendo announced World Championships 2017. We had one in 1990. We had another one in 2015. Shout out to Johnny Numbers from Queens, New York. That's right. That's right. He won 2015 at E3. And now this October, we're going to have another Nintendo Championships 2017 in New York City, October 7th, which is awesome, at Manhattan Center Grand Ballroom. So this is going to be nuts. The preliminaries, the pre-qualifications are already going to be starting pretty soon. I think within a week. And everybody's like, I've seen Abdallah already on stream, like trying to beat a time in one of the two courses, because the qualifying game, which is really interesting, is Mario Kart 7 on the 3DS. So I guess everyone's going to be picking up Mario Kart 7, or if they don't have it already, and try to qualify for this damn thing. The Best Buy over here in New York that's going to be doing it is actually in the Bronx, which is really random that they picked the Bronx of all places. But I guess they know their demographic more than us. But shout out, because I guess I might have to try to roll by. I don't know. Oh man. But let's read this. This October, Nintendo fans will put their gaming skills to the ultimate test in an epic battle to win the Nintendo World Championship 2017. It all kicks off with 8 qualifying events at select Best Buy stores across the U.S. Join the celebration of Nintendo's past, present, and future, and maybe even win a trip to the NYC for the finals. Open to residents of the U.S. and Canada, excluding Quebec. Why is Quebec out of it? Why is Quebec excluded? Why you gotta exclude Quebec? But anyway, there's the dates right there for you guys listening in the audio format. August 19th and 20th, New York and San Francisco Bay Area. August 26th and 27th, Chicago and Los Angeles. September 2nd and 3rd, Minneapolis and Dallas. September 9th and 10th, Seattle and Miami, at exclusively going to be at Best Buy locations. Now, this is kind of booty right now, because I believe the week that it's in New York is the same week the Nintendo Summer of Play is happening. So how are we supposed to go to both? I want my exclusive My Nintendo water bottle. I'm just saying. And then they have their age brackets here, so you have 12 and younger and 13 and older. Mario Kart 7 for the Nintendo 3DS family of systems. Modish time trial. You'll get 2 tries to score the best time. 1 winner for each age bracket will qualify for invitation. So for 12 and younger, it's going to be character is going to have to be as Mario, standard kart, standard wheels, super glider, and the stage is DS Luigi's Mansion. For 13 and older, you're going to play as Bowser, and standard kart, standard wheels, super glider, GBA Bowser Castle 1. Wow, that's Mario Kart Super Circuit status right there. Man. And then you can also, which is pretty cool, demo Super Mario Odyssey and Metroid Samus Returns. And you can also get a chance to collect a My Nintendo pin, which, I want. I don't know why. I want it. Oh, damn it. Oh, man. And then, yeah. So what I'll do is, you guys know, when I upload these to YouTube, all the links that I have for anything news related is always in the description. And for the audio format, I do leave the description in there. So if you if you're listening on iTunes, you can kind of tap the screen of the podcast app once you're in there, and it should pop up the description in gray, and you just scroll down all the notes, and it should be somewhere in there that I mentioned this news topic in there. Whoa, I thought this was PG. It is PG. What you talking about? I said it's booty. That's not a curse word. Oh wait, it's October, the month of Odyssey release. Yes, it's a couple weeks before Odyssey comes out, because I think Odyssey comes out like the 25th or something like that, and this is on the 7th, so it's not launch night or anything, which would have been crazy. That would have been nuts. No one would be able to get in. Har Har says, is there a particular occasion for this? It seems kind of out of place for it to happen now. Oh, and that's why you said Odyssey. I don't know. I think they're trying to space everything out. I think they're really trying to hype something up, in terms of, you know, being able to play certain games. I don't know if they'll make an announcement of some sort, but with the 2015 one that happened, they had a mix of games ranging from NES to Wii U. They had like Splatoon, and then they jumped into Legend of Zelda, and then they did some other games. Like, it was wild. They had a bunch of different things going on. Then they had Blast Ball. That's where they introduced Blast Ball, which ended up being the freaking Metroid Prime Federation Force demo that was in there. So they might introduce a new game in there without saying it at first and then announcing it later. Who knows? Did they announce all the games in the championships? They have not announced anything else. As far as I have seen, only the qualifiers. I'd imagine they'd probably announce stuff, you know, during the event or a little bit before. I think when they did it in 2015, they only showed you only knew about the games as it was happening. Time to drive to La Casa Deadeye. I'll see you later. Imagine if Smash Switch is the final game. Dude, what? Stop. You know what's funny? That might be a team battle thing. If they do the same format as what they did in 2015, they had everyone in teams on Splatoon, and then the team that lost got eliminated from the entire bracket. That was like sort of their way of breaking down brackets, and then that's when they started jumping into different games. That's interesting, Alec. I think you're onto something there. I think you're onto something. Okay, Cunning, what's going on, dude? And I think Goldheart, what's going on? Oh, this thing. Oh my goodness. All right, let's move on. What do I have next? Is this right? Yes, it is. All right, that's what I wanted to have next. When we were on the subject of Samus, I had the perfect segue to go into this, my new favorite thing in the world. Samus Edition new Nintendo 3DS XL hardware arrives 9/15. That's September 15th, same day as Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS and the amiibo pack for the Metroid amiibo with the Samus amiibo in the pose of the Return of Samus Game Boy cartridge, which is pretty damn dope. So, at select retailers just in time for Metroid Samus Returns. And I like this getup. I don't think everyone's a big fan of it, but I like... It actually looks a little bit more red on this screen here, but it's like... it's supposed to be the color of her helmet almost, but I don't know why it's so red on this screen. It's more like an orangey red in the photos when you actually like pop it up on your own phone or computer. And then you got the goldish bottom, so it's replicating her armor, and she's sort of got like that that pose from for Metroid, like the Metroid Prime pose almost, where she's like cocked back with the arm cannon ready to go and blast some baddies. And then you had the S. The S gave it away for me. I was like, you got me. You damn it, Nintendo, you got me. I have it pre-ordered at GameStop. I have it pre-ordered over there, and I'm getting it. I'm getting it. I don't know. Here's the dilemma that I have. I don't know if I want to use it to play games on. I don't know. I'm torn. I'm torn right now. I can't. I can't get it. I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know. But at least I do know GameStop still had it as of yesterday when I was going to my local one. They had it online for pre-order as well when I was looking through the app. So you guys might still be able to get it. I think this might take a little bit to actually sell out. It's one of the Metroid is one of those games that everyone talks and talks and talks about, says that they clamor that they love the series, and then they don't support the series. So I'm like, all right, is this gonna be the one that everyone sells out for? It'll eventually sell out. I just don't know if it's gonna go right away, or if it's gonna take a little bit, and then maybe it'll sell out just before the game comes out. But right now you still have a chance to get it, which is pretty cool. Oh, yeah. Alright, let me back out of this one. But yeah, that was the link was to the tweet that Nintendo of America sent out. Now up next, this one's for Ariel Draco if you're still up in here. Masuda from Game Freak talking about the future of Pokemon on Nintendo Switch, which was a pretty good interview. Now we're not gonna watch the interview. It's from Game Informer. I'll leave the link in the description. But this is coming by way of Mobile News, and we're just gonna take a couple quotes here of what was going on. But Junichi Masuda, co-founder of Game Freak, told Game Informer how excited he is to see the response from the community once the game is available on Switch. Will it be home for the most part? Will it be out and about? I think that is going to depend on where the person lives, maybe. Depending on the country, maybe on the main style of playing will be different. As we've been saying a lot, we always focus on designing the games, thinking about how the player is going to play the game, how they're going to enjoy it, and what kind of experiences they're going to have. I'm really just kind of excited to see where the main style of playing is going to land. So it seems like they're going to be working on some, trying to make sure what they're doing here is going to work with not just docked mode, but tabletop mode as well, handheld mode for that matter. Whether it's on the go, whether it's at home, showing friends off, they want to make sure that it plays the way that it is intended to. Mr. Masuda also explained that the approach for Pokemon for Nintendo Switch is different since the game is a hybrid system and can be played at home or on the go. It's definitely different this time around, Masuda acknowledged. Just playing it at home is kind of a little bit different than the portable systems we've made for games up until now. Shigeru Omori explained that they're excited to see the positive reactions from fans and they're going to try their best to meet expectations. It definitely is really fun to see that, but at the same time, it definitely is a lot of pressure. So we're going to do our best to create a game that answers those expectations, which everybody wanted Pokemon Stars to be that Switch game. But hey, you know what? This is going to be an important turn in the Pokemon series. Let them take their time. Even if the game doesn't come out 2018, they said it might be a year or a little over a year when they announced it at E3. I'm all for them taking the amount of time that they need to get this game right and to have it be the Pokemon game that people want. And I personally, for me, I would love for it to go a little bit more open if that's cool, but still keeping it with the realms of like, I like what Pokemon Sun and Moon did with the Kahunas and everything, but I really miss my gym trainers and just going through like let's bring it back to some gym trainers. Maybe they remake Pokemon Red and Blue. I don't know. The possibilities are endless right now. And this is an exciting time for Nintendo, and Game Freak, and I'll be there when the game comes out day one, 100%. I'm ready for this. But in the meantime, we get Pokken DX tournament Pokken Tournament DX on the Switch, and we also get the Virtual Console versions on the 3DS, 2DS for Pokemon Gold and Silver. So there's that. But let's see. Anyone else up in the chat? Of course, they'll bring them back. Dude, oh my goodness. I hope so. I like how the approach was different with Sun and Moon. But I personally miss gym trainers. That's just me. I don't know how anyone else feels. I don't know if anyone wants to express their opinions in the chat right now. If you're guys watching this on the breakout over on YouTube, definitely let me know in the comments below. And we're going to move on up as soon as I refresh my capture card. Excuse me. All right. Boom. And again, why does it keep doing it to... Oh, sorry, guys. I keep dropping out the chat. My bad. I could read that, but I'm so used to turning my head to look at the chat. Alright, so this one was pretty interesting. They're forcing me... Oh! Draco says they're forcing me to buy a Switch. Looking back at Sun and Moon now, there wasn't much content, to be honest. I mean, the game... I felt like it was a lot quicker than the previous Pokemon games, but I still spent the same amount of time, so I'm not sure. I would love to, honestly, I would love to spend the time to go back. I just don't have it to go back to that game and replay it, because I have Moon, and I only like played a little bit of it because I was so involved with Sun when we were streaming that. Moon was going to be my copy to get Lunala and all that. But hey, one day when I have time, which will be never. But up next we've got this interesting little tidbit here, which I think might be nothing. But this one comes over by MyNintendoNews.com, and their title reads, GameCube title listings have started to pop up in Nintendo Europe servers. Earlier today, on Twitter, several people had spotted a number of GameCube titles appearing on Nintendo Europe servers. While Nintendo has yet to confirm it, there have been substantial amount of rumors in the past about GameCube games appearing on the inevitable Nintendo Switch Virtual Console. Of course, speculation has risen today, given that these titles have been uploaded to the servers. But as always, we shall have to wait and see. So this is off Nintendo.co.uk, it seems. And there was Doshin the Giant, Sonic Adventure DX Director's Cut. And there were 2 other games I thought that were on here. I think it was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3 or something like that. Or maybe it was Underground 2. I think Underground 2 was GameCube also. Can't remember. But interesting that it's on there. It's hard to say what they're doing right now, because I mean, we've got the SNES Classic coming out. We have you know Switch is doing great. The 2DS XL just dropped. We're getting another special edition 3DS XL. I just, in the realm of everything that's been dropping on Nintendo Switch, when you look at their layout and what they're trying to drop monthly, one Nintendo game a month, I just don't see the room for where they would start dropping GameCube games right now. I mean, people are going to be asking for it, but then, they're going to drop these, and who's going to be buying them at that moment when all these crazy games are going to be coming out? Because I know as sure as hell no one's going to be buying Doshin the Giant when Mario Odyssey is dropping. It's crazy. And have they even announced a game for November yet? Because I thought, like I keep saying, I'm so surprised that they dropped it in October. Are they just gonna let November be the month that, hey, we're unleashing a crap ton of Switches to retail stores, everyone go out and get them, people go crazy for the holidays, and then that's it? Or do they have something up their sleeve, and it being, hey, if there's nothing on Switch that fancies you, check out the Virtual Console lineup. I'm lost on this one. I honestly am. I feel, Har says, I feel like the GameCube eShop could compete with upcoming Switch titles. Depending on what Switch titles, I definitely can see that. From the 4 that were shown, I can't remember the 4th one, but I know Tony Hawk was one of the 4 in here that isn't showing up. But it doesn't make sense to me. Mario Sunshine, maybe, yeah, that people would probably go crazy for. But Luigi's Mansion, do we throw that on there? Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, does that drop before a Fire Emblem game? It's too confusing in the moment. It's too early to say, in my opinion. Goldheart says nice. Draco all about that Pokemon when we were talking about Masuda. That moment when you look cool getting out of your car and you drop your... Oh no, Deadeye. I hope your phone's okay. Jeez. My goodness. Alright. Man, that's my little take on these GameCube listings showing up. Now, before we move on, we're gonna hit that refresh button. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So what have we got next? Alright, so more ARMS characters? Maybe, maybe not. There's a rumor over on NintendoLife.com talking about data miners appear to have unearthed more ARMS characters, because we are in that time. And I don't know if you guys want to close your ears. This might be spoilers, possibly, for other characters. So in 3, 2, 1. I like that artwork, by the way. So, ARMS is getting a new update this week, which I believe is out now. And although the official stance is that it will introduce balancing changes, data miners have uncovered evidence that something more substantial could be coming to the game soon. Digging through the game's code, a list of characters' names have been found. Some of these names for existing fighters, we're guessing they were internal names for characters before their final monikers were decided upon, but not all of them match up. So you got Belt, Max Brass, you got some with no names, you got Chain, Coil, DNA is Helix, which I thought Mr. DNA is still in Japan, the Japan version. Am I wrong in that? Someone correct me? Hair is Twintel, Me is Min, Mummy, Ninja, Ninjara, and then you have Plant with no side name there, Police, Bite and Bark, Ribbon Girl, and then 2 more, Robo and Scroll, Snake, Kid Cobra, Springman. You got another set of 4 in Sumo, Surprise, Sweet, and Twin Tail. Now, this is weird because they put Twin Tail with hair. Would they not put Twin Tail with Twin Tail? Unless there's a twin of some sort. Or, again, these could just all be names that no longer mean anything. I mean, you can also make a claim that Sumo could probably go with Mummy as well, you know? So, I don't think, and yeah, I don't think there's much to it either. But, because a lot of these names I feel like you can also mix and match with other ones, too. Which is the interesting thing with data mines. Is like, yeah, you might find something, and then most times when you're doing data mining, they find things in games, in Nintendo games I'm talking about specifically, not like, you know, other console games, but like in some Nintendo games, you'll just find things in there that just are unused assets. It happens. It happens in a lot of games. Boss Head, Headlock, RNA, Dummies, Worker, Mechanica. Some of these names refer to characters that were removed from before the game was finished, or they all new fighters, which will be added via DLC. Let us know. Okay, cool. So yeah, what do you guys think? You guys already know my thoughts on this, and just reading this like now, this entire list, I feel like you can put these with some of these other characters too. I mean, it's yeah. Robo could be half of this cast. Oh my goodness. Alright, I'm gonna scroll around here in the chat, see what's going on. ARMS is meh. How is ARMS meh? I haven't played it enough to like jump back in. I've been like trying to go through the backlog of Mighty Gunvolt Burst and trying to finish that game. I just got to Teseo, so I'm like, all right, I should be close to this game, hopefully, the end of this game. But yeah, no, I wanna jump back into ARMS because I personally had fun with it. I was enjoying that game. I'm pretty sure everybody's gonna be better than me at this point, but not that I was good to begin with. But they're rebalancing characters, so it's like they're consistently bringing in more and more updates to this game. They really want to make this something. Any news on Fire Emblem Mario Odyssey? There is some news towards the end about Mario Odyssey, but nothing crazy. Don't no need to hold suspense. And Fire Emblem, there was a update for Heroes, wasn't there? And we had some stuff last week about characters and whatnot, Goldheart. Oh yeah, alright, so we're going to move on. Boom. What do we have next? Nintendo everything, why aren't you loading up? Come on. Nintendo everything. Internet! Work, damn you! Damn you, work! Alright, well, while that's loading up, that was going to be talking about Nintendo doing a live stream at Gamescom, which I didn't get to fully read about, so I do want to know more about that. But here's the interesting little tidbit about Mario while we move on. And apparently, Mario's legs are, like, made out of steel or something. I have no idea. They're titanium legs, but apparently Mario, when he jumps off high places, he no longer takes damage. Mario's broken in real life, which is crazy. So yes, yeah, he shakes and vibrates. That's pretty much it. We're gonna move on. How that even became a thing, like I saw it on Twitter, I was like, great, and then it blew up more than like. There's little things that just that I'm like, why is this blowing up as much as it should? I don't know if it's because people are starved for Nintendo news, or if there's just something that's not clicking with me. But I'm just like, okay, I get it, but that's also weird that his legs are just like they shake. So he falls down and then he shakes. He's like stunned, and that's it. But it is weird. It is weird. I will say that. Why can't he lose hearts? Or is that going to be locked behind one of the amiibos too, where Mario can get hurt from heights up on there? I ruined the joke. Damn it, Joe. Moving on. Splatoon 2 Splatfest event last week. We suffered a loss, my catch-up players. We suffered a loss. Team catch-up lost. But we won the popular vote. We just apparently didn't win enough matches, which I thought maybe one Team Mayo team. So how are you supposed to win a match where everyone that's picking one side is battling Team Catch-up? I don't understand. I think we were robbed. I don't want to sound salty, but I think we were robbed. I think we were wrongly robbed about this. Marina, we will redeem you. We will get our revenge. And why did the camera just move like that? Out of whack. Out of whack, I say. Guys. Deadeye's like, no, we were robbed. And Cromer, going back to the Mario thing, is like, why is this an article? My reaction to Joe. Yep. I completely agree, Cromer. Hate how these Splatfests are like Effie Heroes voting gauntlets. You can choose the ones you want, but if you don't choose the ones that you think will win, you will get more rewards. Don't know if it was like that in the first game. I can't remember because I did not play Splatoon 1 enough to really know about how the Splatfest worked in those. I just knew some of the events. Like I thought the Transformers, the Autobots versus Decepticons one was pretty cool, where you got a Autobot or Decepticon shirt. But yeah, it was weird that happened the way it did. I don't know. Maybe they'll when they do the next one, they'll fix and tweak things a little bit more, because that just doesn't make sense. But apparently Mayo won more overall battles, which I don't know how you do if the more popular vote has more people to be battling, or if people just picked catch-up and then put the game down and that was it. Team catch-up, you better not let me down next time. Whatever team we become. We were robbed. It's a dark, dark day. It's a dark, dark day. Default paint the entire area? Oh my goodness. Alright, and while we're on the subject of Splatoon news, there's an update for Splatbrella heading to Splatoon 2 this weekend. It should already be up, but for those of you planning on playing Splatoon 2 this weekend, that should be up. I chose catch-up, but didn't battle at all. Cromer! Why? You're the problem! You're the problem! You did it! You did it, Cromer! You did it! Oh, don't tell me that! Don't tell me that! Anyway, before I get more upset and saddened and my soul gets destroyed even more, just one weird little downside right now. So Nintendo's apparently getting another patent case against them. This happened on the Wii, if I remember correctly, with some company and the whole motion control thing. I can't remember how that got settled, but Game Vice launches patent against the Nintendo Switch and Joy-Con concept, and this comes from Nintendo Life. This is from Thomas Whitehead. Shoutouts. So we'll just scroll down to here. Naturally, the courts will determine whether there is a case. Excuse me. We will doubt this will be the last such claim. either as various clip-on controller accessories exist that work with smartphones and tablets. It was the existence of accessories like these that some used as evidence in the NX days to argue against 2016 leaks around the tablet with detachable controllers. So basically, they're claiming here that this company, Game Vice, has a patent, or they're getting a patent infringement on their control scheme for phones, where you can clip on and have two separate controls onto your phone to play video games on your phone. And that they're claiming that, hey, this is our idea, we want money for it. Just kind of like the same thing that happened before with some other company with the Wii. Yeah. That seems to... It'll probably be something that gets settled outside of court, or the judges will ultimately decide, no, this should not be a case at all. Moving on. Alright, so I don't want to move into cool things just yet, because I want to see what Nintendo is live streaming for Gamescom. So I'm going to Google search it right now, because freaking thingy is not loading up. L1 Metal Gaming, what is up, dude? But I'm gonna scroll back. I'm gonna screw back up. I'm gonna scroll back up right now. Mario and Luigi are no different from their evil counterparts. Barry should see this. Wait, what? How dare Twitch cut me off? Oh no, Twitch cut you off. Like, how the heck were we supposed to... Oh, going back to the Splatoon 2 battle, Splatfest. When we're fighting our own teams. I mean, you get points for every win, but it's weird how it works. I love that JoJo uses a Mac. A man after my own heart. You damn right. Streaming on a PC using the Mac. You want fall damage? Play Dark Souls. Get good! No, you don't understand. Yo, L1, you missed my joke. You missed my joke earlier. There's gonna be a Mario amiibo that unlocks hard mode, so that way when you fall down off high ledges, you'll get hurt. You heard it here first. Taking shots. I'm sorry, that was too easy. That was too easy. Oh, my goodness. Anyway, Nintendo announces Mario Metroid live streams for Gamescom. Nintendo has announced live streams for two of its biggest upcoming titles during Gamescom. Super Mario Odyssey and Metroid Samus Returns will both be played live from the show, and key developers will be on hand to reveal more of the games. For Mario, you'll want to tune in at 2 p.m. UK time on Wednesday, 23rd August. Oh gosh, I hate when they do it backwards. I'm not used to that. Producer and Nintendo Switch mastermind Yoshiaki Koizumi will be presenting. Oh, the man with the beautiful eyes. Oh, if you guys don't know who that is, just search him up. Amazing eyes. Amazing eyes. For Metroid, switch on at... I see what they did there. Switch on at 11 p.m. UK time on Thursday, 24 August. Producer Yoshio Sakamoto, yes! And creative director Jose Luis Marquez will be on hand. Other live streams will feature gameplay from Fire Emblem Warriors Xenoblade Chronicles 2 over the course of the show. Gamescom is now just a couple weeks away. Nintendo does not hold traditional press conferences at the show, although you can expect briefings from Microsoft and EA at the event. So, more Super Mario Odyssey, more Metroid Samus Return. I'm kind of turning off my visors now to both of those games at this point. I don't want to see any more gameplay to those. I feel like every week they have been showing more and more Samus... Metroid Samus Returns. Like, I've seen enough. I want to play the game. I can't anymore, and the game's gonna get spoiled already more so than... I mean, it's a remake, but it's also a reimagining. They've changed up the maps and everything. I want things to still be fresh for me. Come on. I get it. Hype Train's gonna be there. I'm gonna miss all the news on it, and I'm gonna be like, oh, this thing is happening! Oh man, can you believe it? And I'm gonna be like... Exactly. But Super Mario Odyssey is another one. I'm going to say right now that I don't want to watch anymore. I want the game to come out. But then I know I'm going to miss out on something awesome if they do play the game on live stream and they show something different. And then, of course, I'll probably try to tune in for Fire Emblem Warriors. I do want to see more of that. I like the character reveals. That's something that I don't know why it interests me. We got recently we had Cordelia and female Robin, so I thought that was pretty dope. And Xenoblade Chronicles 2, I would love to see more of that. I think the last time we saw it was at E3. Before then, we just got a trailer about that, so that should be pretty dope. And I'm gonna jump back into the chat real quick, see what's going on. Where's the amiibo that brings back the game over screen? It's called the Rip amiibo. Savage L1. I haven't played in a while, but oh, I missed something there. Has Nintendo already had their press conference? Has Nintendo already had their press conference besides E3 2017? Like, I mean, it's like in the article, they don't really do press conferences anymore in the past few years. They go the way of the Direct, the Nintendo Directs. So we'll probably see one in the fall, maybe before Metroid comes out. There's got to be one before Mario Odyssey comes out, I'd imagine. This year they've been doing a lot more focus directs where they focus in on a particular game and then they show little things afterwards. So I would anticipate at least seeing a Mario Odyssey direct, and then, like, you know, games coming out possibly, or another. I would love to see another Nindies direct because we got that first one back in like February, March, and only like I want to say half of those games showed up, and we haven't gotten release dates for the other half of those games. I'm still waiting for Flipping Death. I'm still waiting for War Groove. Those are the two Nindy games that I want to play the crap out of when it comes out. Oh my gosh, if you've not heard of if you've not seen gameplay of either of those games, please, I encourage you guys to check it out. War Groove, Flipping Death, those two games. Oh my goodness. Hope there's more Shadow Dragon rep in the future. Marth's getting lonely. Oh man, who else can they put from Shadow Dragon that would be a notable character? It seems like they're only putting in like the more famous character. I don't want to say more notable characters, but like the ones that like everybody seems to like easily recognize, because you have your Birthright, you have your Conquest, you have your Awakening characters so far, you have your Shadow Dragon and Marth, and then yeah, that's Kata. Okay, yes, Kata, that would make sense. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right on that. But I'm wondering if they're trying to stick with, or maybe they'll probably drop in Echo's characters next, I'd imagine. They'd probably do that, and then they'd probably save some of the other characters outside of, like, you know, for when you actually play the game, maybe? I have no idea. And then I'm sure if there's anything like Hyrule Warriors, they'll probably add DLC characters as well. Somewhere down the road. Nightbot, where the hell did you come from? Out of nowhere, ruining my chat scrolling. Man. No, please. I think we are good. My avatar is reading the wrong thing. Xander looks awesome, but what about Chrome? Chrome's in there. Chrome is in there. He's up in there. He was like one of the first characters announced in that game. So don't you worry, Goldheart. He's all up in there in his luscious blue hair. Lucina too. I'm just happy female Corrin's up in there. I'm good. I'm set. Alright, so getting out of the pipeline and going into some cool stuff before we go to the eShop drop. These were just some cool things that I randomly bumped into on the internet, and this is coming from Nintendo Life. Another Hyperkin console. Hyperkin just seems to be following, you know, taking notes from Nintendo, and it's like, okay, what can we make money off of? Which is smart. I'm not hating on them at all. I'm not hating on them at all for doing this. It is a smart strategy. But they revealed an HDMI SNES console, the Supa Retron HD. So basically, it's a take on their other Retron consoles. This one only takes Super Nintendo, and you got an HDMI output. I believe it's 720p. If anyone can confirm that, yep, 720p. Both 720p output via HDMI, as well as composite AV, which is pretty cool. So you can do your 16:9 or 4:3 ratios as well, and you can play all your games again. What's cool about this one, though, is the console has a wide slot, so it can accept all North American and PAL SNES games, as well as Super Famicom titles, which is really dope. So if you have the Japanese games and you want to play it, you don't have to buy like a separate version of this console. It's all in one, which is really cool. And if you want to play Mario Paint, you can also buy their Hyperkin mouse as well. There's a free plug right there. The other thing that I saw that was pretty dope just before the show started, actually, this is awesome. So there's a next-gen N64 controller from Retro Fighters on Kickstarter that happened, and apparently they smashed the Kickstarter target. But this is pretty dope. It's a controller that's shaped like, you know, the more current consoles, but it's got the N64 layout. This would have been awesome for back in the day. What? Playing it like this seems so much more conventional looking at it now. Hindsight is 2020, man. But that is a very, very sexy console, and it looks like it's got 2 Z buttons on the back, even though the N64 controller only had one. I guess, you know, for preference more so, which is pretty cool. But posted on Kickstarter, the enthusiast scene has leaped on board quickly. At the time of the writing, which this posted yesterday at 6:15 a.m. this Thursday, the 10th, writing nearly 900 backers have pledged over 25,000, smashing the $13,000 target and unlocking a stretch goal for additional color options. The cost for a controller for November delivery is $20. $20 ain't not bad for a controller in this day and age. Question is this USB? The campaign still has 29 days to run, so you can make a lot more. Cash. Jeez, but this is a beautiful. And for those listening on the audio end, I do apologize that you cannot see this, but it offers a more conventional layout for the N64 with somewhat unique inputs and supports memory cards and the Rumble Pack, so you can add that onto there, which is dope as hell. N64, the controllers, particularly the analog stick, nevertheless have a tendency. N64 pads take the strain. So I'm gonna assume this is a full-on N64 controller here. I'm gonna press play real quick. I'm curious now. They're not showing the other end. Next generation N64 controller. I'm just going to go on a whim and say that yes, it is an N64 only controller, which I'm cool with. I have an N64. I'm good. Papa D-Rec has entered into the building. What is going on, dude? Before we jump into the eShop drop, I'm going to check in with you guys in the chat. What's going on, chat? Breath of the KO out of nowhere. What? Having a blast playing this Monster Hunter Stories. Nice, Draco. Yes. The video for that, I got to re-export. For some reason, it didn't properly export last night when I broke all the videos out for Nintendo Spotlight. For those of you who don't know, Thursday nights, 8 p.m. till whenever, we do Nintendo Spotlight, where we play through all the games that have, not all the games, but a select few games that come out that week. I pick them up on the eShop, and last night we got to play Monster Hunter Stories demo. We got to play the Monster Hunter Double Cross demo from the Japan eShop. Ironcast was sent to us from Ripstone, which was great, and we also played Phantom Trigger, which is really awesome and super depressing. Man, that game got serious very quick. I can't recommend Phantom Trigger and at least trying Monster Hunter Stories demo enough out of the set of 4 for sure. I really, personally for me, Ironcast, I'm addicted to it. I don't think it's for everyone though. And what was the other one? Monster Hunter Double Cross. I'm just gonna fail at. I need people is when it comes down to. And I hope they localize it. If not, I'm contemplating buying the Japanese version of that game, but only if I know people that are gonna buy it and that I can actually play with and learn about the game. All right, we're caught up with the chat, so let's drop into the eShop. eShop drop. here's what you can find out this week on the Nintendo eShop, digital and sometimes retail. Right now we got Severed from Guacamelee developer Drinkbox Studios for $14.99 on the Nintendo Switch. This is the second touch-only game that is available on Nintendo Switch. The first one being Voez, the rhythm game that you can only play on touchscreen. So, unfortunately, you cannot do dock mode, which is silly because on the Vita, I played a little bit of this on the Vita. I'm pretty sure you can move around with the joysticks, and this one, and then you still slash with the touchscreen. But yeah, this one, total touchscreen, which is interesting. And the art style, very much like Guacamelee. If you guys have not played Guacamelee, it's out on the Wii U. It's more of a Metroidvania game with wrestling, with a wrestling moveset, which is really awesome. But this one is not a sequel of any sort to it. It's still in the same art style, but it's a very dark game. You're in first-person view. You move around, all touchscreen, slashing around at the enemies and whatnot. It's got some RPG elements to it, and the soundtrack is really, really good. But is it also on 3DS? Oh, we talked about this last week, actually. Buy or own the Nintendo 3DS version of Severed and receive a free digital copy of the Wii U version, or vice versa. But why not Switch? That's right. Okay, yeah, I did read that, and I was like, oh, great. But yeah, that came out. $14.99. Flip Wars on Nintendo Switch, $9.99. Now, this was Project Makuru, which then since has been changed to Battle Sports Makuru on the Japanese eShop. I think that's what it translates to, which Makuru in Japanese I think is flip. So that's why this game is called Flip Wars in the US. Finally came out here. It came out to Europe back in July, and Japan got it a couple months ago. So I had the Japanese version. I played it. It's fun. It's a party game. I don't have friends to play this game with, but it's a very simple mechanic, published by Nintendo. I forget who the developer actually is, though, because I don't think it's a full-on Nintendo game. But you're battling against, you can battle against other people, you can do team battles, and basically you're flipping to get your color the most on the screen, or you can also do different modes where you where there's a big weapon in the center of the screen, like in there, and it does certain things, so you can use that to your advantage to end enemies off the screen. You can do life systems, which is pretty cool, or a time down, countdown, so that way, it's a time battle. Again, fun game. It's just you need people to play it with. Alright, up next, Rocket Fist for $9.99. I didn't pick this up because, again, this is another party game that I didn't get to jump into. But this is by Bit and Toast Games. And we'll just read the synopsis real quick. Fast-paced rocket dodgeball arena, which sounds awesome in theory. Rocket Fist is an arena game with crazy robots and chaotic rocket fist battles. Aim against your frenemies and prove your dexterity by killing each other with other rocket-propelled fists in this frenetic mix of dodgeball and billiards. You can hold one rocket fist at a time, and you only get one shot to throw your punch before having to run, hide, and dodge to pick it back up. Just like in dodgeball, but in the way with more rockets. When you're... that sounds fun. When you're running away, you can ninja dash around the arena, and if you're feeling lucky, bub, do you feel lucky, huh? You can try to dash bumping your friends in their faces and steal their rocket. There you go. But yes, another multiplayer party game right there. We talked about this briefly. Ironcast, $12.99 on Nintendo Switch. Thank you again, Ripstone, for sending me that review copy. I want to play more, please. But developer Dreadbit. Turn-based strategy meets explosive mech combat. Be a hero, join the fight. So... this game is very hard to explain without you jumping in and playing it. I will say I felt really overwhelmed at first playing this game, just because there's so much to understand. But as soon as you get out of the tutorial and you actually just play a stage, it clicks. So for anyone that's looking to play the game, I highly recommend still going through that tutorial. Don't be afraid if you don't understand it. Just as soon as you jump into it, you'll be able to make sense of everything that was explained. It's match 3 meets turn-based battle meets RPG meets roguelite. It's a little bit of everything. It's crazy, but it makes sense. It's fun. It takes place in an alternate 1880s Victorian era meets steampunk-esque environment where you're battling against it's Britain against France in a war, and it's fun. It is a fun little game that they've got going on. It's not a little game either, but it's fun. And when you die, unlike other roguelike games, you actually get rewarded in death, which that's huge for me. That was the one thing that I was like, all right, I'm gonna die and I'm gonna have to do this all over again with no perks. Oh, you get rewards. Oh, this is something different. All right, let me jump back in, and actually, use this to my advantage to get the upper hand on the next enemy and get a little bit stronger as you're going on. I think that's what Rogue Legacy did right in that game. Even though you always went back in without any specials, you built up through the skill tree that you had to get bigger, more strength, more speed, and all that stuff. So there was still a good reward system in that game. Rogue Legacy rocks. L1 100%. I wish I would have spent more time on that game, but yeah, I really liked Rogue Legacy and what it tried to do there. And the soundtrack was cool too. Anyway, I'm sure that was annoying. Up next, we got Phantom Trigger, Nintendo Switch, $14.99. I was really impressed with this game. This was published by Tiny Build Games, developed by Team Bread, or Bread Team, I believe, is the proper name for that. And this has some Hyperlight Drift. Hyper Drifter Light. What's the title of that damn game? Anyway, it's that game there. Hyper Light Drifter. I can't think anymore. I'm having a stroke, guys. I'm done. Anyway, yeah, it had some of those elements. It was top down. In the terms of animation, the fighting style, it's hack and slash. You find 3 different items, 3 different weapons that you use, and you actually have to level up those weapons individually. That bar on the upper left hand corner there that has the meter underneath your large green bar of health is actually your experience that you're getting for each weapon. So it pays off actually to level up all your weapons, and you actually build up combos from that, which is cool, because then you could start chaining combos against enemies. You could turn, with the sword, you can turn enemies into ice with one of your combos. You can, with the gloves, you can, blow up a flame of circle, a circle of flames around you, which was pretty cool. I hadn't really got to do anything with the whip yet, but I just feel like whipping people because I feel like Simon Belmont for some reason. But yeah, the game, I believe, is supposed to run about 7-8 hours. So I feel like that. I love if a game is short. So if I can kind of get through it, then that's awesome to me. What I was saying was about the story. It's kind of weird because you get bits of the story as you're going along in the game. And you're this guy Stan, and you're learning little by little that he has some illness. You don't know what it is. He faints. You end up in this world, and as you get through certain checkpoints, you're learning more about what's happening, and it seems like it's this terminal illness that he has, and there might not be the only way to kind of cure him might be through surgery, but he can't afford the surgery, and then he's in the hospital and with the wife at some point. It gets really twisted and dark. I have a personal attachment to this game right now, so it is my personal mission to beat this game within the next couple weeks for sure. Before Mario Rabbids comes out, I wanna finish that game. Monster Hunter Double Cross, we talked about that. The demo is out for Nintendo Switch. The game comes out in a couple weeks as well. But if you have a Japanese eShop account or don't know how to make one, you can check out my YouTube channel. I have that video up there. Just search JoAfterWork, how to create a Japan eShop account, and it should show up. And the game's basically Monster Hunter Generations from the 3DS with prettier graphics. It's supposed to have more missions, like additional missions and whatnot to the game, aside from what's in Generations already. And you're also going to be able to cross save with the 3DS version of this game. So if you buy it on 3DS and you buy the Switch version, again, this is only Japanese only, unfortunately. With the Switch, it's not region locked, but with the 3DS, games are region locked, so you would need a Japanese 3DS to do this. But you can actually, whatever you do in the 3DS version, you could then link up and cross save it over to the Switch, which I thought it was really cool. So hopefully the game gets localized and we see it sometime next year. Capcom has gone on to already say that, hey, we have no plans to localize this. They'd be crazy not to. And the fact that Switch is not getting Monster Hunter Worlds, come on. Capcom, you're really gonna do that to us, Capcom? Come on. But at least we're getting Revelations 1 and 2. I'll give them that. The last two games we got is Elminage Original on the Nintendo 3DS for $19.99. Now this looked like a pretty cool dungeon crawl RPG-ish game. It's from Ninja Games Japan. It's from Starfish, published by Ninja Games Japan. I'm gonna read synopsis real quick. I didn't play this because I knew if I jumped into this, I'd be very disappointed if I didn't jump back into it. So I'm gonna hopefully pick it up somewhere down the road where there's a lull in video games and I'm not playing a million of them. The 5 rings that protect the world have been scattered after 5 sorcerers attempt to release the Demon King. They who can find 5 rings and restore the barrier on the Dragon's Fall shall be richly rewarded. Today, many adventurers pass through the gates of Trangelda, the true motives hidden within their hearts. Elminage Original is an atmospheric dungeon RPG where players assemble a band of adventurers and embark to conquer the dungeons and recover the rings. The 5 rings lie in the dungeons across the worlds throughout the temples, caverns, and forests. Their locations randomly placed when starting a game. Earn fame by completing events and infuse it into compass to track where the rings are hidden. Hordes of monsters lie in wait throughout the dungeons, some of them so huge they cannot fit on the screen. Oh, that's nice. Create powerful adventurers and level up to progress deeper into their dungeons and face stronger foes. Pretty straightforward. And of course, like I said before, we got into the eShop drop, Monster Hunter Stories demo, which we're going to play right after that Nintendo show, so stay tuned for that. Free download on the 3DS, 2DS, and this is a beefy demo. You want to talk about doing demos right? This is a perfect example of it. There's 2, and I was talking to L1 about this a couple days ago. He brought it up. Resident Evil 7. That was a great way to do a demo. And you added updates. You even found a way to implement it into the main story of the game, which was not the original intentions at all. Thought that was awesome. Monster Hunter Stories demo. Holy crap, dude, we played about an hour of this and we are not done with the demo yet. I think there's actually like a few missions that we get to do, and then you get to carry your save over to the game when it comes out September 8th, which is awesome. So there you have it, Monster Hunter Stories, and that's from Capcom, but they apparently know how to do demos. And this one, shout out to Zero. He got this over to me. Dragon Quest Builders 2 confirmed for Nintendo Switch. Will it stack up? So that's coming out for Nintendo Switch. We have a 404 coming to Nintendo Switch. What's this supposed to be? Neuro Voider is an indie game coming out for Nintendo Switch. Look that up. And then the next wave of Neo Geo titles for Switch confirmed, because there is not a shortage of Neo Geo games that need to come out. But here we go. Art of Fighting, Blues Journey, Magician Lord, Puzzled, and Zedblade. During a recent live stream, the Japanese company revealed those games are coming out. You can't hate on Neo Geo. You can't hate on ACA. They've been consistently bringing out the classics because Nintendo is avoiding them right now. But kudos. I think another version of 1942 came out recently. I'm like this close to buying it because I'm such a sucker for top-down shooters, and I'm like, Don't do it, Joe. Don't fall into it. I will. Oh, man. But before we go, I'm going to jump back into the chat one last time before we end that Nintendo show and jump into some video games. What's going on, chat? How you guys doing tonight? You have any questions about any of the topics we discussed tonight that I might have missed? Thanks for explaining the channel, says Cool Cat. All charity for the kids. I got your back. I got your back. I got your back, Cool Cat. Ichikyo. That's such a cool name. Is there a meaning behind that? L1 says RE7 demo was dope. Barry played it for like 15 bajillion hours. I know, he was dedicated, man. Respect. That man had some damn dedication. I like that. Goldheart, yep. Goldheart was like, yep, I was there for those 15 bajillion hours. Modding it up. Oh my goodness. Game looks rather small. Goldheart, was that in reference to the Elmanage game that was on the 3DS? No, that was Phantom Trigger, right? Which actually, I'm kind of curious. How long to beat Phantom Trigger? That way I can kind of gauge it. But I think somewhere it said, I might be mistaking games, but thought that one was, yeah, they don't even have it on how long to beat. No, not Phantom Breaker. I've played that game. It's another game I adore. Just completed level 6 and Unraveled before dying. 5 more to go before Platinum. Damn, beast mode, dude. Why is there an article about Mario not taking fall damage? I think, I feel like there's just certain things that people will make articles about and make it a bigger situation than it is because there might not be no news that happens. You see this from time to time. I mean, if you go on to like the crazy Nintendo sites, like Nintendo Life, for instance, they post up every single individual game that gets announced for Switch and make an article about it. But I appreciate that sort of thing because it's like, hey, this game's coming out. Keep an eye out for it. And then you can kind of be like the first one in the know checking it out. It's like, I remember hearing about that. Let me finally check this out and see what it's about. You also, you know, sometimes we're just strapped for Nintendo information, and that happens. I was surprised that that was even a thing. That's why I like doing this sort of format of a show rather than giving you guys daily news, because I can kind of clump everything together and give you guys those little bits of like fun little information, like Mario having the strongest legs in the world and just, you know, shaking it off after he lands from you know, a giant tower of some sort or something like that. Sorry, I mean without dying. Oh, I got you. Did I read that saying with dying? Zamba! What's going on, dude? Alright, I cannot wait to turn this AC back on, so I apologize for the last week's episode where you could hear the AC running all the time if you listen to it in headphones, not so much if you have like speakers on your computer where it doesn't come out as much. Before we go, I want to thank everybody that has jumped in tonight's stream. Thank you, Nerd Stash, for the wonderful, wonderful host. Welcome everybody from the Nerd Stash. Also, all of our subs, which you guys are the elite, is what I'm calling you right now. It's kind of a spin on the Bullet Club Elite from New Japan. So I'm a wrestling dork. I'm sorry. I had to find some way to fit wrestling in here. I have freaking Matt Hardy as my announcement when somebody hosts. So that's what I've named the $4.99 sub level people, and that's everybody down there. I'm gonna try to remember everybody's names unless I have the list up here right now where you guys are gonna get a shout out. Ariel Draco, ha ha ha, Deadeye _shots, OK Cunning, CB Nuttree, Papa Direct, Clee _89, and I think Where's Barry still counts, so Where's Barry, you're up in there too. Thank y'all for the lovely, lovely hosts. I appreciate everybody. And before we go, this has been That Nintendo Show, where every week we bring to you your Nintendo news in a week in review format. You can find me here live 7:30 p.m. for That Nintendo Show Eastern Time on Friday nights. You can find this video in its entirety over on youtube.com/JoAfterWork on Saturdays, as well as on SoundCloud and iTunes in an audio format on Saturday as well. I'm going to try to be really diligent with that as well and make sure that I can keep consistency with that, guys. So hold me to it. If I flub, let me know. I will do my best to make it up to you. We end the show with a moment that we always like to call the Fils-Aimé moment of the day. Reggie Fils-Aimé, being the president of Nintendo of America, has many memes around the world. Although this one doesn't only include Reggie, I feel like it was an awesome thing to show because it's the Muppets intro for Reggie and Satoru Iwata and Miyamoto-san from E3 2 years ago, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. I think it might have been last year, but I thought it was adorable, and I thought this was probably the perfect way to end this show. A little fun one this time around, instead of it being like super outlandishly goofy. And then we'll jump into some Monster Hunter stories afterwards. And I knocked out the wrong chat, and I will see you guys next week if you are jumping off. Thank you so much for tuning in. Here is your Fils-Aimé moment of the day, if we can get it loaded up. One day we're gonna get this capture card to work properly. There we go. Wait.
Mr. Iwata? Mr. Iwata? Oh, wow. Yes, we're ready to start filming the Nintendo digital event for E3 2015.
Okay, thank you. I will head directly to the stage.
L1, I love ya. Take care, man. Oh, snap. L1, thank you for the bits. Dude, when the hell did you become Bit Boss? I just realized this entire time.
62, Nintendo 63, Nintendo 64. My puppet body is ready. Huh?
That didn't register yesterday, did I? That totally did not.
I'm here.
Oh, Mr. Miyamoto?
Oh, yes.
Dude, I don't even remember that.
Wherever you are, gentlemen.
I just have to remember my words.
Look!
Miyamoto is Peppy. Of course, Reggie's Falco. I love it. Miyamoto's Fox. What's awesome is they had those puppets at Nintendo New York for a while, too. What is happening? There we go. It's Team Star Fox. This was when Star Fox Zero was on its way out.
Hey, Fox, do a barrel roll.
Yeah, come on, Fox. Do a barrel roll.
Yeah.
Barrel roll? I can do better than that. Check this out.
All right, guys. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes for Monster Hunter Stories. Thank you so much for tuning into that Nintendo show. That was episode 2 for August 11, 2017. I will see you guys next time. Take care. Love y'all.